So, there's this amazing little secret that's been hiding beneath our feet. An underground compost pit that can feed your plants all year round. It's really nature's secret engine for endless growth. If you've ever wondered how some gardeners manage to grow strong, vibrant crops all year long without constantly adding fertilizers, the secret often lies beneath the soil, literally. Hidden underground, a simple compost pit can silently work day and night, feeding your plants continuously with natural nutrients. It's kind of like having an underground kitchen that keeps cooking for your crops even when you're asleep. Once you understand how this system works, you'll never look at composting the same way again. Unlike surface compost piles that need frequent turning and take months to decompose, an underground compost pit is a buried nutrient factory that slowly releases food directly to your plant's roots. It's designed to decompose organic matter right where your plants can reach it, saving you time and giving your crops a consistent source of nourishment. The concept is beautifully simple. Instead of tossing plant waste or kitchen scraps into a bin far away, you bury them directly into a pit that's positioned strategically near your crops or right in the middle of your garden bed. As the materials break down, they enrich the soil below, releasing nutrients steadily through the growing seasons. This makes it one of the most sustainable and low-maintenance fertilizing systems any gardener can adopt. The magic behind the underground compost pit lies in how it interacts with soil microbes and plant roots. When organic matter such as leaves, peels, or crop residues decompose underground, they attract beneficial bacteria, fungi, and earthworms. These organisms break down the material into humus, a rich, dark substance that's honestly the very definition of fertile soil. Because the composting happens underground, moisture and temperature remain more stable than above-ground piles. This ensures that decomposition continues even during dry or cold seasons. The roots of nearby plants grow toward this nutrient-rich zone, absorbing the released minerals and natural humic acids over time. It's a constant, self-regulating nutrient cycle that keeps your soil fertile and your plants thriving without the need for frequent fertilizer applications. Setting up your underground compost pit doesn't require fancy equipment. What matters is the right location, size, and mix of materials. Choose a well-drained spot close to where your crops are planted. This ensures the roots benefit directly from the nutrient flow. Dig a pit that's about 3 feet deep and 2 feet wide. This size is ideal for a small to medium garden and allows sufficient aeration for the composting process. For larger gardens, you can create several pits spaced evenly between rows of plants. Once your pit is ready, you'll want to layer the material strategically. Start with a few inches of dry matter, like small sticks, straw, or dry leaves, to create a good air base. On top of that, add a layer of green waste, things like vegetable scraps, grass clippings, or fresh weeds. Just keep alternating between these green and brown layers until the pit is almost full, but remember to leave about 6 inches at the top. Now comes the secret to activating the decomposition process faster. A compost activator mix. You can make a powerful homemade solution by combining 2 liters of warm water, 2 tablespoons of molasses or brown sugar, 1 cup of cow dung or well-decomposed compost, and 1 tablespoon of yeast or EM, which stands for Effective Microorganisms Solution. Mix well until everything is evenly blended, then pour the mixture over the layered materials until the entire pit is moist, but not soggy. If the pit looks too dry, go ahead and sprinkle an extra liter of plain water evenly. Finally, cover the pit loosely with soil, leaving a small vent or using a perforated lid to allow just a bit of airflow. Now, the pit will begin its work underground, quietly breaking down all those materials while feeding the soil ecosystem below. As compost decomposes underground, those nutrients start moving downward and sideways, reaching the root zones of nearby plants. Microorganisms get to work, converting organic matter into simple nutrients that plants can easily absorb. Nitrogen for leafy growth, phosphorus for strong roots, and potassium for fruit and flower development. Since decomposition happens slowly, nutrients are released gradually, giving you a year-round supply. Even when you're not out there actively gardening, the pit just keeps on enriching the soil, making sure the next planting season kicks off with a nutrient-packed foundation. This continuous cycle, well, it makes your garden self-sustaining and really cuts down on the need for commercial fertilizers. An underground compost pit can serve you for years if maintained properly. Every few months, you'll want to open the top and add a fresh layer of organic waste. If you notice it's getting a bit too dry, just pour in about 1 liter of water mixed with a tablespoon of molasses to reactivate microbial activity. You can also occasionally add a handful of soil or finished compost to introduce more beneficial microbes. For large gardens, rotating between several pits is a great strategy. While one pit is actively decomposing, another may be ready for harvesting nutrient-rich compost to use as top dressing. This rotation ensures your plants always have access to live, fertile soil. The underground compost pit really thrives on diversity. Use a mixture of green materials that provide nitrogen and brown materials that add carbon. Ideal greens include vegetable peels, fruit scraps, grass clippings, and green leaves. Browns include dry leaves, sawdust, shredded paper, and small twigs. Now, you'll want to avoid adding meat, dairy, or oily substances. They just decompose too slowly and, honestly, may attract pests you don't want hanging around. Also, don't use diseased plant materials, as they could spread pathogens underground. So, stick to clean, organic waste for the best results. Within a few months, you'll notice an incredible difference in your soil structure. It becomes darker, crumbly, and just full of life. Earthworms multiply, roots grow deeper, and water retention improves significantly. And since the compost is underground, it doesn't lose nutrients to sun exposure or rain runoff like surface compost piles do. Over time, your garden becomes naturally resilient. Plants resist pests and diseases better, yields improve, and soil fertility stays balanced. You know, you are not just growing crops. You're building an entire living ecosystem beneath your feet. This method saves space, conserves water, and keeps your garden clean since all organic waste is buried instead of left exposed. It's perfect for urban gardeners, homesteaders, or anyone looking for a low-effort, high-reward fertilizing solution. Unlike chemical fertilizers that give a quick boost but damage soil life in the long run, underground composting builds soil health organically. It's cheaper, safer, and entirely sustainable. You don't need to keep buying fertilizers. Your garden becomes its own natural supplier of nutrients. If the pit starts to smell unpleasant, it means there's too much green material or too little airflow. Add more dry materials such as leaves or sawdust, and mix slightly before covering again. If decomposition seems slow, you can sprinkle about 1 liter of warm water mixed with a tablespoon of molasses and just a pinch of yeast to reignite microbial activity. In dry regions, adding a small amount of water every couple of weeks keeps the pit moist enough to function effectively. And, well, in very wet climates, covering the pit with a plastic sheet or lid helps prevent excess moisture buildup. The longer your pit stays active, the more productive your soil becomes. After about 6 months to a year, you can open the pit and scoop out the bottom layer. It will have transformed into rich, dark compost that smells just like forest soil. This can be spread around fruit trees, vegetable beds, or flower gardens as a slow-release organic fertilizer. Then, simply refill the pit with fresh material and repeat the cycle. What makes this system so powerful is its quiet efficiency. It doesn't demand your daily attention, yet it keeps working tirelessly. Year after year, it keeps feeding your roots and improving your harvest naturally. The underground compost pit is more than just a hole in the ground. It's nature's engine room working in perfect harmony with your plants. It's the bridge between waste and abundance, between effort and reward. Once you set it up, it becomes the heart of your garden, silently producing nutrition every single day. So, if you want to take your gardening to the next level, start building your own underground compost pit today and let the earth do the heavy lifting for you. If you found this guide helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Growth Hub Central Crops and share this video with fellow gardeners. Together, let's grow healthier soil, stronger crops, and a greener world, one compost pit at a time.